Today we're going to talk about section 1.7. It's an introduction to functions. So what is a function? Function is a relationship such that each input or x value, for each one of those there is only one output or y value. In other words, there can't be repeated x values with different y values. That sounds a little confusing. So you can go back and reread it, or just bear with me. On a graph, if a vertical line goes through 2 points, the relationship is not a function. So visually we'll be able to check that in a little bit. This is maybe make a note here that this is a visual check on a graph. Input, that's the number you put in. Those are your x values. That's the independent axis. And this is dependent. That's your y's. Domain is a list of all the x's. Range is a list of all the y's. So here's how I want us to start breaking this down. If you can think about your class schedule, if you have your class schedule easily available, or if you can just make one up for here at Central High School, that's what we're going to do right now. Let's use the table on the left first. So I want you to put your class period right here. So we're going to go through 8th hour, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, so this is your input. I want you to put your floor or level that you're on for each of those periods. So maybe for first hour, you're on 3rd floor, then you go down to 2nd floor, then you're on 1st floor, back up to 3rd floor. You're stuck on 3rd floor for a while. Now, by the way, if you have like choir with study hall split, just pretend you're not in study hall, or pretend you're not in choir. Pick a level for each period, okay? So we're simplifying your schedule. So let's graph this. By the way, let's go back to the table here. Remember how your x, if you ever have time as a variable, that should go on your x-axis. Think of x as your time variable, and think of y as your height variable. By the way, folks, your class period is a function. Let's graph it here. So here's your period, and then here's the floor that you're on. So we only go to 3rd floor, so 1, 2, 3. Boop, I ran out of space. I jam my notes in sometimes. I apologize, folks. So then for periods, we have 1 through 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna go boom, which is legit. 2, 4, 6, 8. You can read between the lines. All right. So first hour, I'm 3rd. Second hour, I'm 2nd. 3rd hour, I'm 1st floor. Back up to 3rd floor. Back up to stay on 3rd floor. Back down to 2nd floor. Back up to 3rd floor. Down to 1st floor. Yours probably looks something like that, folks. If you were to come in late to school, you have some appointment, if you knew what class period it was, you would know what floor to go on. If we go back up to our definition of function, for each x, again, think of x as your time. For each time, there is only one output or floor or height. How confusing would that be if 3rd hour you have 7 different floors you're supposed to be on? That'd be really confusing because Central doesn't have 7 floors, but you know, a schedule is supposed to tell you where you're supposed to be at each given time. And so for each of these times, there is one corresponding floor. This is a function. Now, we're gonna create something that's not gonna be a function. Now I want you to, for every x, there's supposed to be one y. Now I actually want you to put in the time for y. This is gonna be goofed up, folks. So your class period is gonna be your output or your y value. So you go 1 through 8 over here now. Oops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you take this column and you really just put it over here for your x's now. So 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. So now the x values are the floor, and the y values are your period. So floors, we go up from 1 to 3. And class periods, there's 8 of those. So for when we're on floor, when we're on floor 3, we're in class period 1. So that's right there. It doesn't really make sense per se, but there we are. For when we're on floor 2, we're at class period 2. Floor 1, class period 3. Floor 3, class period 4. Floor 3, class period 5. Floor 2, class period 6. Floor 3, class period 7. Floor 1, class period 8. Right there. It's really just taking the other graph and flipped it over, just like we just flipped the x and y columns. So here, if I told you what time it was, well, yeah. So here this is really confusing. If I'm on first floor, it might be period 1 or 8. I don't know though. I'm not sure. So you'll notice that, remember, these are supposed to be your x's. For every x, like when I look at this x right here, there's only supposed to be one y. For each x value, there's only one y. Well, for this x right here, there are 2 different y's. And for this x value right here, when x or time is 2, there's 2 times. And for this x, there is 4. So this is not a function, because for every x, there exists an x where there's more than one y. It fails because of this. It also fails because of that, and it also fails because of the black dots here that are on top of each other. Remember, visually, on a graph, if a vertical line goes through 2 points, the relationship is not a function. So it fails right here. It also fails right there. It also fails right there. Once it fails 1, you call it not a function. So this situation right here, folks, is not a function. Not a function. Fails that vertical line test, and for every x there is more than one, or for an x there is more than one y. Real quick, we're going to talk about domains and ranges. So domains are all of your x's, and ranges are all of your y's. So in this one that is a function, our x's go 1 through 8. And our y's go between 1 and 3. This is saying that my x's are greater than or equal to 1, but then less than or equal to 8. And here my y's are greater than or equal to 1, and then less than or equal to 3. Whereas here, if you look at the domain or the x's, they only go between 1 and 3. But the y's go in between 1 and 8. Including 1s and 8s and 1s and 3s there. So here, think of this as time, and this is the floor that you're on for a building, for your schedule. This is your schedule. X is always your time. Y is your height or floor. You going up or down. Time, floor. We want to know if these are, I'm sorry the directions got cut off, if these are functions. It's kind of like this, folks. You know these candy machines where you punch in a code? When you punch in a code, you expect to get the Snickers bar if that's what you want. You punch in a certain code, you get out a certain candy. Oh, I can't right over there. It's been a long summer. code produces candy. These candy machines are a function. They have a function so that for each one specific code, you get out one specific candy. Okay. Let's go back to this schedule. Is this schedule a function? For each specific time, do I get one specific floor? Here, yeah. I have 4 periods and I have a floor for each of them. By the way, notice that it's okay if you stay on the same floor sometimes. This is okay. Oops, I meant to make a bigger circle. That's okay. For 4th and 5th hour, I'm on 3rd floor. No big deal. But over here, it's like, well, when my time is 3, I'm supposed to be on 4th and 5th floor. That doesn't make sense. So, do we have any issues here? 1st hour, I have a floor. 2nd hour, I have a floor. 3rd hour, I have a floor. 3rd hour, I also have this floor. So where am I supposed to be? So this is not a function because 3rd hour, I'm supposed to be in 2 places at once. And you can't be 2 places at once. Let's try the last one. 2nd hour, I'm on 3rd floor. 4th hour, I'm on 9th floor. 6th hour, I'm on 3rd floor. 8th hour, I'm on 9th floor. Is it okay that I'm on 3rd floor for 2 different periods? Is it okay that I'm on 9th floor for 2 different periods? You bet. Yes, it is. So this is a function. You can abbreviate the function FCTN. This is also FCTN. Nope, not a function. And then they ask for domains and ranges. So your domains are your x's. This is going to be 1 through 4. Now the range I can't really summarize like that all fancy, so I just list them out. 4, 7, 12, 19, etc., etc. Oops. Here's a little visual when things don't work. Here's another, so like if we just had a graph, this is you going up an elevator, height over time, this works okay. This is you going up and down. This is not okay because here over time I'm going up and I'm supposed to be going down and you can't be 2 places at once. So this, whoa, that's not a vertical line. This fails the vertical line because when I draw a vertical line it crosses my graph twice. This looks okay. This shows where I'm supposed to be at different times and for each time there is only one height. This is also me going down a water slide. This is looking okay. At different times, there's my height. I'm going down. I'm going, oh, shoot, I'm going down, but look at this. At this certain time, say 3rd hour or something, I'm supposed to be in 2 places at once. My red line, if I could draw a straight red line, crosses this function or this relationship twice. So it is not a function. No. Whereas these others were yeses. There we go. Here's some practice for you. Have fun with that.